Alright guys, welcome back. We're going to be solving another question from Thermodynamics, and we have a manometer and a gauge that are attached to a gas tank. We know the reading on the pressure gauge is 80 kilopascal, which we can see in the figure 2. We need to determine the distance between the two fluid levels, which we show it with H in here, knowing that the fluid at A part is mercury, and we have the density of the mercury, and in the B part we have the liquid water, which has a different density obviously. So the question has two parts, and before I start, so this is the first manometer question that we are solving in this channel, and one of the key points in here is that when we are talking about the gauge pressure, the gauge pressure is different than absolute pressure. So the pressure that the gauge is showing is actually relative to that atmospheric pressure. So at atmospheric pressure, a gauge reads 0 because it considers the surrounding air as 0 point or reference, whereas the absolute pressure measures from a perfect vacuum, which the pressure is actually 0. So that's one thing that we need to look in here. And the idea is same as, like, for example, inside the tire, the pressure that is measured is the gauge pressure, but the actual absolute pressure inside the tire is the gauge pressure plus the atmospheric pressure. So that's a very important point in here before we start this. And in manometer questions, we know that the pressure that we're going to experience is based on the height difference, and we know that pressure is rho gh. And when we are at the same height, let's say in here, the pressure that we have in these two levels is the same. So if we call the pressure at point A P1, the pressure at point B is also P1. So as long as we are at the same level, we're going to have the same pressure. And the way you're going to solve these questions, you can either go from this end to the other one or vice versa. It really doesn't matter. And what you need to consider in these kind of question is kind of like going to swimming pool. When you are going down the water, you feel more pressure on your ears, so the pressure is increasing. So for example, if we're going from this side down, we're going down the liquid or whatever fluid that we have in here, which means we are increasing the pressure. And as we go up, like moving from here to here, we're going more to the surface, so the pressure is decreasing. So this is kind of like our hint to where to add the pressure and where use a negative sign. But as long as you keep this in mind, you should be more than good to solve these kind of questions. So let's say we're gonna move from the gas side to the right side, and we're gonna get out, and at the end we're gonna be at the air. So moving from that side, first of all, we're gonna have the pressure of the gas, which from the question we know is 80 kilopascals. So we're going to start with the pressure of the gas. So where we are at this point, the pressure that we're going to have is the gas pressure. And moving on to the same level, we're going to have the same pressure. And now we're going to experience this height, which we are going up. So we're going to have a negative sign in here because the pressure is decreasing. So minus rho gh. And we have two conditions. The A part, we have a rho of mercury, and the B part, we have the rho of water. So as long as we get this, it should be pretty easy. And where we get to this point, this is the pressure of the air. So this will be equal to the pressure that we have in here. But the question is, what pressure are we going to put in here? The pressure is going to be the gauge pressure. So we're not going to put the absolute air pressure in here. So it will be 0. Or the other alternative in here is that, let's say you want to go with absolute pressure. So we know the absolute pressure of the gas would be actually pressure of the gauge plus the pressure of the air. So instead of that, we can put this, and we're going to get minus rho gh. The rest is the same, and here we're going to have the absolute pressure of the air, which they will be canceled out from each side of the equation. At the end, we're going to get the same thing. So that's why you need to be consistent. If we are going with the gauge pressure, we're going to consider the 0 air on the other side, but it's up to you when we decided to go with the gauge pressure. So we're going to get that air pressure 0. All right, so the rest of this is pretty easy. You just have to find the H in here, which would be the pressure of the gas over rho times G. And the rest of this is just we have to watch for the units in here. So the pressure of the gas is 80 kilopascal, or we can write it down as 80 times 10 to the 3 Pascal, knowing that Pascal is also force over the area, or Newton over meter squared. And density, let's say we're gonna go with the A part. So 13,600 kilogram per meter cube. And our g in here would be the acceleration of gravity, 9.81 meter per square second. So meter per square second. And from the laws of the Newton, we know F is equal to mass times acceleration of mass times acceleration. So we're going to get the F in Newton when our mass is in kilogram and our acceleration is meter per square second. So this part is going to give us the Newton. And as I said, for the Pascal, we have Newton over meter squared. So Newton will cancel out with Newton in the denominator, and we're going to end up with 1 meter unit. And let's see what we get. So basically we have 80,000 divided by 13,600. And we're going to divide this by 9.81, which is going to give us 0.6 meter as the final answer for the A part of the question. I forgot to put 9.81 in here. That's the unit for our G. And B part is very similar, we just have to use a different density. So 80,000 divided by density of water is 1,000 kilogram per meter cube times 9.81 meter per square second. And I'll basically have 80 divided by 9.81. And this is going to give us 8.15 meter. And yeah, that's the final answer for this question, and how we need to approach these kind of questions. Just watch for the gauge pressure if you're going with gauge pressure, and if it's absolute, you just have to consider the absolute air pressure on the other side of the manometer. And yeah, as long as we're consistent with the units, we should be able to find the answer pretty easy. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.